Okay, I have been meaning to make some donuts, so I've got some oil in the thing. I've been using it for a couple of days. I did filter it the other day. So it's filtered. All I did was make French fries in it last night. So I want to make some donuts. I'm going to make some lemon glazed donuts. That's what I'm feeling like. So let's do that today. What I've got here is a recipe for yeast donuts. And I can't remember if I've ever made these. But I definitely saved the recipe, so I'm guessing I've made them at least once. So what I need is a half cup of granulated sugar, some yeast, a cup of milk, 2 large eggs, 4 tablespoons of butter, some grated lemon zest. Okay, that's interesting. I don't have any lemon zest, but I've got lemon juice. I didn't expect that to really be in here. I know I have lemon juice and I need to use it. That's why the lemon juice is going to go in the donut recipe. Okay, I need salt, vanilla extract, flour, oil for frying, which I have, confectioner's sugar, which I have, whole milk, vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. So as always, I am going to make this in the bread machine, and it should work out really well in the bread machine because it says right here to let it rise for an hour to an hour and 30 minutes, and that's exactly what my bread machine is going to do. So let me get my dishes together and my bread machine clean, and I'll be back. All right, that took a minute. I had to wash the bucket for the bread machine, and I decided to go ahead and wash the skillet and throw some bacon in it. I'm starving. It's lunchtime. It's 12:18 p.m., so I'm going to make these donuts and cook some bacon for a bacon sandwich at the same time. But let's see what we need. So this recipe is interesting. I wonder if I ever made it before because it says put a 1/4 cup of warm water and the yeast in together, in a bowl together, and let it sit there. What they want you to do is proof the yeast. The yeast is going to proof just fine in my bread machine. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 ounces of water. So I'll put 2 ounces of water in here. Or I'll put 3.5 ounces of water. And some sugar. How much sugar is supposed to go in here? Half cup of sugar, so 4 ounces of sugar. 4 ounces of sugar. And remember, it's donuts, so there's supposed to be quite a bit of sugar in there. And then it says, put the yeast in. No, that doesn't bother me much. So how much yeast do they want? 1 1/4 ounces. 1.25 ounces of yeast. So this will be quite a bit of yeast, actually. Are we sure they really mean that? Oh, 1/4. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I got plenty of yeast in there. I got half an ounce in there. Once I started putting it in, I was like, that can't be right. But let me show you how it's written. It's kind of confusing. It says 1 1/4 ounce packet of dry yeast, but it looks like 1 1/4 ounce packet of dry yeast. So, anyway, half an ounce is 14 milliliters. Or 14 grams. So there's only how much? There's only 4 3/4 cups of flour going in this. So half an ounce should be fine. I need a cup of milk. So a cup of milk is 8 ounces. And I got that exact. I don't want to waste my milk. I do have a little extra milk in the fridge, but not a whole lot. I needed to wash a bowl for the eggs. I got 4 eggs left, I think. 4 or 6. Not a lot. 6 eggs. 6 eggs. So technically I could have 2 more breakfasts, or I could make some more bread pudding. Make sure my bowl's clean. Alright, I gotta crack these eggs. So I need 2 eggs. These go out in... Eggs go out in 2 days, I think. Today's the 4th. They were short dated. They were on sale though. I don't know what the regular price of those eggs were, but I got them for $7. 1 cent short of $7. And they've come in handy. I made some hamburger buns. Last night I made breakfast with them a couple of times. Gonna make some donuts with them right here. I wasn't the only one that day on the hunt for eggs, but I think I've said that story probably several times at this point. This one cracked weird, but yeah. Alright, so there's the 2 eggs. And I got 4 eggs left, so that's nice. They expire on the 6th. So 2 days. Eggs are usually good a couple of weeks past their expiration date, so I'm not terribly concerned about it. But I don't want to buy them from the store expired. They had some that were actually expired, so I was like, really? Okay, 4 tablespoons of butter, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of oil, which would be actually quite a bit of oil. It's going to be 15, 30, 60 grams of oil. I'm going to run out of oil, folks. 60 grams of oil. A teaspoon of lemon zest. But I don't have lemon zest, I just have lemon juice. Alright, so here's my lemon juice. It's real lemon juice, probably from concentrate. But lemon juice in there. I'm surprised it calls for lemon juice. I just had that idea like randomly. Lemon juice, I believe it calls for vanilla extract. Yep, it does. We'll start with 4 cups of flour. That's going to be 480, I believe. 480 grams is 4 cups of flour, and that's where we're going to start. And then as it mixes, we'll see if it needs any more flour. Boy, I'm going to need some more flour. I think this is going to be the end of the bag. 443. Ha! 445. Check this out. That's how much was in there, so I need just a little bit more flour. Thankfully, I've got just a little bit more flour. In the freezer. So this flour came from the food pantry, and I had a difficult time getting this flour actually, but they finally did bring it. So this flour is what I got from the food pantry. It is Kroger brand, all-purpose. And it was sealed, it was in the freezer, and it's in date. So let's add the rest of this. All right, I got that in there. And I think that is it for what needs to go in there. Now it just needs to go in the bread machine. And in my bread machine, the dough setting is number 8. And you'll notice that I do a lot more doughs in my bread machine than I do actual, like, baking the whole bread in the machine. But let me put this in here and turn it on, and then we will watch it. And this will take an hour and a half. But there it is. We're going to watch it. And if it needs more flour, I will add more flour to it. I think it's probably going to be fine. Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to deal with my bacon, and we'll come back and look at this in a couple of minutes. Alright, I had to put some more flour in there. I'm going to let that mix up. My dough ball is looking real good. Let's take a look at it. I need to get some of that flour out of there. But I'm going to go ahead and let it mix. So let's see how it's doing. I bet I'm going to have to turn on the light. See if we can see it. It's not quite as dough ball-y as I would expect. I'm probably going to have to knead it into some flour when it comes out of here. But there is... how much time is left? $49 minutes, I think. 42 minutes. Alright, so we're just going to let it keep doing its thing, and I'll be back. Alright, it is time for phase 2 of Doughnuts. The bread machine just stopped mixing it. I'm out of paper towel, so it's been kind of challenging to get the table ready, and I'm running out of reusable paper towels, so I have to do laundry before I go to bed tonight, which means right after I finish making these donuts. So this really made quite a bit of donut dough. I need to put some flour down here. This has already been cleaned and wiped and cleaned and wiped and cleaned and wiped, and I really kind of went nuts about it. Alright, so let's put a little flour down there. And you do this, one, it's going to need extra kneading because it never really balled up. And two, you don't want it to stick to your surface. So let's see. There it is. Oh, well, there's part of it. Boy, is that sticky. Yeah, that's really, really sticky. This is going to be interesting. So for some reason, this really took a lot of flour. Like way more than I expected it to. Now, the beater bar. Alright, I guess that's all I'm going to be getting out of that. It's really, really, really sticky. Let's hope it kind of unsticks itself as we need it. Yesterday's hamburger bun dough was pretty sticky too. But you want to knead it a couple of times, kind of get the sticky out of it. If yours ends up as sticky as mine. This should make a ton of donuts. So once you get the sticky out of it and knead it a few times, you'll want to press it out or roll it out to about a 1/2 inch. And then I'll use my cutter to cut these out. And I do believe that this is another recipe that gets a second rise before it fries. I will have to double check that. I turned off my tablet because it was going to run out of battery if I left it on. All right, I think that is good. And you just want to take your thing and do this. Just like I did yesterday for the hamburger buns. You might be wondering, am I going to make donut holes? I just might. I got to find a round thing to make donut holes. I think we used the nutmeg container last time, or nutmeg lid. I might do that. If I had a way to stuff these, I would leave them like this, but I don't know where I don't know what they're called, but they're little things you use to icing things. They're the fancy icing stuff. And I've got a few of those, and you use those same things to put like puddings in the middle of donuts. I also don't have any pudding. So well, I'm telling you, this is making an amazing number of donuts. I will say that. More than I made last time. There we go. Donut. All right, so how many did this make? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and a donut hole. All right, I got to figure out how I want to do the donut holes. You know what? I think this will probably be the last day that I use the oil that I've got in the deep fryer. So I think I'll use the lid off of the used oil container. Let me wash my hands. Trying to get all the dough off your hands can be challenging. This is real shallow, unfortunately, but we're going to use it anyway. Or at least try to. Yep, I think it's all right. This is a little better size than the nutmeg lid. The nutmeg lid kind of made everything, kind of made the donuts too thin. And then I've got to see if I need to let these rise or if they're fine to go ahead and start frying. I need to find a spot to put these too. The donut holes don't have to be super perfect, and neither do the donuts themselves. When I was a kid, we used to cut holes in those canned biscuits and put powdered sugar on those, and we called those donuts. Cheaper than getting a dozen at the store. At least back then it was. Alright, so there we go. I gotta see if... Whoops, forgot one. I gotta see if these get a second rise or not. Oh, my trash can is stupidly full. Can't believe I forgot to look at the last half of this recipe before I shut it down. Yep, this is one that gets a second rise. So I'm going to do some cleaning. These will be ready at 3 p.m. to go into the deep fryer. All right, the donuts have about another 10 minutes left on their rise. So I'm going to go ahead and make the glaze. And this is a lemon glaze. I actually just ran out of reusable paper towels, so that's fabulous. And I turned on the deep fryer since I just got a few minutes left. So the grease is warming up. And this says I need some vanilla extract. Not too much. Some lemon juice. It's kind of interesting. ingredients don't call for lemon in this glaze, but the directions do. And they're talking about lemon zest instead of the juice. And then they say it needs 1.5 cups of powdered sugar, which is probably all I've got left. I've made a few powdered sugar things over the course of the last couple of months. And it gets 3 tablespoons of milk. What this does not get is butter. If this were going to be icing, I would put butter in it. And I'm just going to make the glaze version. And you don't need very much. Powdered sugar dissolves very easily. And a lot of it will dissolve. In very little liquid. Alright, that's it. That is perfect. Let's see what it tastes like. Just a hint of lemon, which is what I want. Alright, I still got another 10 minutes on the donuts, but they're looking good. And I've got my tray out because that is what I'm going to put the finished donuts on. So there's my donuts right there. Alright, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Alright, the oil is hot, so I will throw a few donut holes in here. And we'll see how they do. This will be the last use for this oil, I think. Because I made corn dogs with it. I made French fries with it. Now I'm making donuts with it. So I'm guessing this will be the last thing I do with the oil. Then I'll need to get some more oil. I need to turn these donuts over. I need to draw off my fork. Alright, donut holes can kind of be hard to deal with. So let me show you what these look like. Don't those look good? I'm going to put these in the glaze. And I'm going to sample one before I do any more. I want to make sure the oil is good and that they taste all right. So I'm going to try one of these. Roll it around in the glaze and try it. All right, those are delicious. So I'm going to do some more donut holes. You know what? I could make 2 donut holes out of this. Show you what these look like. There you go. And I'm going to set you over here where the glaze is. Because that'll be more interesting. The glaze will be more interesting than me taking donuts off the bottom and deep frying them. So I'm going to set all those in there. Now here's the interesting thing about this. I am not a big fan of glazed donuts. But this is kind of like everything else I've noticed. What that typically means is I'm not a fan of commercial glazed donuts. These are delicious. It's kind of like when I figured out that I actually do like orange juice. The problem is I like fresh squeezed orange juice, not commercially prepared orange juice from concentrate. These actually look better than the ones I made in the skillet. My skillet fried donuts were pretty good. These actually look better. I couldn't get those to turn. But they're done. Alright, now I gotta do some regular donuts. Oh, nope, I got 4 more donut holes. I really made a lot of donut holes. I'm kind of surprised. Little donut hole. Yeah, that's excellent. Commercial donuts have nothing on these. These are excellent. And I could make a lot more of these for cheaper for the most part. Because I just made like 17 or 18 donut holes. I got 16 donuts, regular ones. That's a dozen plus 4 for donuts. Looks like I'm only going to be able to deep fry 1 actual donut at a time. I was able to fry 5 donut holes at a time. And I'll stir these around in the glaze. Oh my God. This donut is massive. I'm going to show it to you. This donut is absolutely massive. Huge, hot, and tasty. I'm eating one while I'm cooking one. Boy, that is a good donut. These taste like real donuts. Actually, they taste better than store-bought donuts. Sadly, I can only cook them one at a time. My basket isn't big enough to do more than one at a time. I'm going to continue cooking these, and when they're all done, I'll be back. The only bummer is that the donuts have to be done 1 donut at a time, but there's how many I've done so far. Of course, there's how many I still have left to do. This recipe really made a ton of donuts. Not every donut is going to get glazed. I'm about out of glaze, and I don't think I'll make any more. If I want more, I can make more tomorrow or another day. I also have, cinnamon and sugar that I could put on them too. Alright, my phone only has 14% battery left. I thought to check it, and it's just about out of battery. I'm just about out of glaze too, so... Alright, there we go. So there's the donuts. Right there. They are absolutely amazing. I'll show you the one that's cooking, and then we'll have to cut this video short. There's the one that's in the deep fryer. So I think the deep fryer has done a better job than the skillet fry. It's just taking longer because I can only do 1 donut at a time. I think I could fit 2 donuts in the skillet. But, oh well, these are delicious. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later.